following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hello, welcome to another edition of our program, CHW in Action, with your host, Rafael Calderon. As always, CHW stands for Community Health Worker in Action, because I'm always in action to bring you the community of Nashua health information, health education, and interesting guests, people that know more than I do about how to be happy and have a happy and healthy life. Today we have the honor of having Lindy with us, and Lindy was referred to me by Dick, the owner, well, the director of this station. He said she's a very interesting lady. You're going to love having her in your show. So we communicated via Facebook. I went to her webpage, and she is very interesting. So let's say hi to her.
Hi.
Lynn.
Hello. What a pleasure.
Hey, the pleasure is all
What
mine.
a pleasure. Thank you so much for asking me to come on to your show. Super excited
Thank you for coming.
to be here. Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Thank you.
Happy to be here with you. Okay. So, Lynn, I am learning about you. But for the audience, tell us all about you. Tell us your full name, your title, what you do, what you're about.
Fantastic. Lindy Eldridge. I'm the Chief Happiness Officer of the Happiness Jungle. I have been living in the happiness mantra for well over 20 years. And I believe that God has given us all a very special gift, and it's called life. And we could live in it in a very drama-fested world where it's very negative, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on in our lives. Or you could do what I did and turn it around and call them each a blessing, so I could grow to become something that was so fantastic instead of being just in that dark hole of the woe is me. So with that being said, about 21 weeks ago, I decided to go ahead and create the entity, the Happiness Jungle.
Nice.
And that's what you're viewing. I have the website, I have the YouTube, I have the Facebook fan page. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. I get to go to so many different events, whether it's corporations that I speak to, whether it's conventions, one-on-one group sessions, and I get to help people understand the true meaning of happiness.
What is the true meaning of happiness?
The true meaning of happiness is not adding drama into a situation, pausing and understanding how to relate to situations.
Very nice.
Happiness is fabulous, and I only work with happy people.
Very good.
Because happy people love to be happy, but we all have stress in our lives.
Okay.
That's where I want to be. That's where everybody wants to be. So I choose to be around the happy people.
Well, see, I'm kind of happy most of the time. Okay. I'm saying kind of. Sometimes life throws things at you. And what I've learned, because we all have different systems on how to deal with life, I sort of let the stress come in, and then I let it out. So for the time that it's in, happiness is trying to get back in, and I try to prepare the road or the space for it to come back in. When I want to get to the point when I'm happy all the time. And when I saw your video, you just saw your all happiness. I mean, your all energetic happiness.
Right.
So I wanted to have you in the show to ask you, how do you do it?
Thank you.
Now I'm getting an idea.
You know, happiness is a choice. And I'm not happy 100% of the time. You can't be happy 100% of the time, because life happens. But here's where I differ. I have moments of where I'm not happy. I have time to ponder and put things in its right perspective to bring me back to my happy place.
Okay.
I'm different because I stay in an unhappy place for just a certain amount of time, and only moments, where other people carry it on for days, weeks, months. Now they're on medications because they don't understand how, just like you said, there are times that I have to allow myself to deal with my life. So I'm not very happy right then and there. That's true. Those are called the moments that you have to take care of what is in your control. Here's the difference between you and the rest of the world. Everybody else carries that to a whole different level, and sometimes they go into this other place that's called drama.
Okay.
You know, my pants are ripped. Oh my God, my pants are ripped, and how am I going to go to school? My pants are ripped, and I guess I'm going to school with a hole in my pants. Two different mindsets,
Yes.
same pair of pants that have the hole in it.
Exactly.
So,
Nice.
yeah.
Okay, now tell me about the happiness jungle. Very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Where did the idea come from? What drives you to have it? What is it all about?
It inspires me to bring the happiness jungle into this wonderful world we live in because life is a jungle.
Okay.
So many things go on in our life that even the happiest people get so confused with how to react and how to respond and how to be able to climb over that hurdle because we have other people in our lives, right? We have children in our lives, we have parents, we have friends, we have all these people in our lives. The happiness jungle is where we all come together to understand that for every situation that happens in life, there's a happy solution. That's where the happiness jungle comes in. We all get to live, laugh, love, dance together in the happiness jungle because we celebrate life versus having that chaos of, excuse me, what are we going to do next? I love the happiness jungle.
Very nice.
Yes.
You know, last week I had Pastor Jose Luna here, and we were talking about spiritual guidance from the sense of having a full life, and part of it is being happy.
Yeah.
And part of being happy is not letting stress and sadness and such things, you know, get a hold of you. One way to deal with that is by having fun, well, fun and recreation, let's put it that way. So how could you, I'm asking you to help me
Yes.
to connect fun and recreation with the happy jungle.
Okay, let me give you a very good, for instance, that just happened to me a week ago. We always dread the IRS letter that you're being audited. Even if you've done everything correct, which I have. It came. Most people would have taken that letter and just been totally 100% distraughted because it's very stressful. Extreme. When you get that letter, all emotions go off the charts. You start thinking, what if? You start doing, what do I have to do to prepare for it? Just because of the anxiety of what has to be done for the preparation of an audit, 99% of the people go crazy because they've already ran ahead of themselves.
Okay.
I get the letter. I'm not a happy camper about this letter. But there's not much I could do about it except accept the fact that it is definitely going to happen. I'm being audited.
Okay.
What is step one? What is step two? What is step three? Take care of what's in your control. Take care of what's in your control. Do the next step, take care of what's in your control. And then everything will flow in a moderation that you can live a happier, stressless life dealing with something that is extremely stressful.
So we're talking about take care of what is within your control,
100%.
and then don't mind the rest of the stuff, or what do you do with that stuff that you cannot control?
After you take care of what you can control, you look back, you look at the items that need different attention, and you concentrate more on who could help you.
Okay.
You need an expert. Today's world with social media and the way we could Google advice and opinions and everything, that's where it changes. So I do everything that's in my control. My CPA said, Lindy, you need to do X, Y, and Z. I said, I can do that. It was stressful. 72 hours almost straight,
Wow.
getting this ready, itemizing everything for the year that I'm being audited. It was in my control. I was able to do that. I didn't stress. I put myself in a very soothing place. I turned on the music I like. It was low enough. And I went to work. And I accomplished what I needed to accomplish.
So you took control of the
I
situation
took control.
by concentrating on what you can control.
That's correct. And I tuned out the rest of the world. And I let my family know, I need this time alone because I'm preparing for something. If you need me and it's an emergency, absolutely come and get me. Otherwise, I'll see you later. I turned off the computer. You have to turn off your noise. So whatever situation you're trying to work with, you need to turn off the noise. For me, the noise right there was my computer because I work a lot on the computer. I had to turn that off. I had to take my phone and I had to put it away. Just like when we used to go to work and we weren't allowed to take phone calls at work. That's how I had to treat the situation. And I went to work. And I didn't complain about it, because that didn't help any. If you complain about things, it's going to make things worse.
True.
Mentally, it's going to disturb you. So my kids would say to me, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm getting ready for my audit." They're like, "Oh my God." I'm like, "Well, you know, it's nice to, I guess, to relive my life for that year." I looked at it at a whole different meeting. And trust me, it wasn't nice looking back at my life. But how are you thinking of things that you have to take care of?
So it's about paradigm.
100%. And
Okay.
I'm so good at it because I'm a product of what I preach. It gives me great pleasure to share the gold nuggets of how to be happy. With the happiest people, though.
I like that you keep mentioning the happiest people,
have
the happy
to.
people. So, because that implies to avoid the unhappy people.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know why? I'm an author. I'm an author. I'm a speaker, like I said. In my past, it was dark. It was hurtful. I had to grow from that. When I first published my first book, Tears of Fears Behind Closed Doors,
Years of fears behind closed doors. I'm going to get it.
I would love to autograph a copy for you, and I'll bring it to you. How about that?
Sounds good to me.
And after it was published, I reached out to a lot of the nonprofit organizations. I really wanted to help them. And a long story short, I've already accomplished being an author and a speaker and being known for the electricity that I can bring to the table, right? I've already accomplished that. Well, what the nonprofits wanted me to do was to go back to my dark past and to start with the 800 line.
Why?
And because, I don't know why, because that's what they wanted me to do, because that's the system of what they work. And what you also have to understand, and we always have to take into play, is when you're talking to any kind of nonprofits or anybody that's doing any kind of a service work, we have to always realize and appreciate who they are and that they're overworked and they're underpaid.
Okay.
So when I reached out to them and I said, I cannot go on the 800 lines. I'm not willing to take myself back into the dark. I'm not. I believe that there are different chapters, there are different steps in healing. When you're in an abusive relationship, you go through it where you're back and you're forth and you're back and you're forth. I'm way past that. I am gone out of that relationship. I am going to make something of myself. I am ready to start a new beginning. Let's do it. That's where Lindy Eldridge is. So for me to be asked to go all the way back there, I won't allow myself to do that.
Very good.
I will never allow anybody to take me back to the dark when I know that I have a lot more to offer in this bright, happy place I'm in.
Beautiful.
So when I want to be around happiness, why would I want to be around depressed people? That just doesn't make any sense to me. I want to help them, but they have to want to help themselves first.
That is true.
Yeah, you
That is
can't
true.
help people that don't want help. Can you imagine sitting and having a cup of coffee with me or a glass of this yummy water, and all we do is go, nah, 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 nah. You would go home so exhausted. That would not have served you in any way.
That is true.
So why do you want to do that? Not when there's other services that help them get through that. So when they're at this new step of, I'm ready, let's do it, where's Lindy Eldridge? I'm right
Okay.
there in the happiness jungle.
See? Tell us, okay, where does this energy come from? Tell us about yourself. Tell us more about yourself.
Oh, where does my energy come from? Because I don't look at life as it's the, I don't look at life as a punishment.
Okay.
I look at it that everything we go through is a learning curve. There are things that I'm going through in my life right now. You know what? We all go through the same things. It's just different names and different faces. That's all there is. But I could assure you, I'm going through a lot of things in my personal life.
Interesting.
And what would that do for me if I carried it all day long with me?
Weigh you down?
Is it worth it?
Never.
When you allow somebody to feed you poison, should you keep drinking it?
You know that what the Buddha said, if somebody gives you a gift and you don't accept it, who does it belong to?
Amen.
Huh? Life is so simple. I mean, I'm beginning to see life so simple and so clearly.
So simple.
surround yourself by happiness and positive energy, and positive things will happen to you.
All the time.
I meet so many people that tell me that they're so depressed, and I teach classes. I teach healthy classes, and I'm a community health worker. I don't know if you know what that really entails. Is I'm the connection between the community and the healthcare system, and I try to promote a holistic approach towards health. I read it somewhere. I think it was by the World Health Organization or something like that. That health is not about the lack of infirmity or to treat an infirmity. It's about living a well-balanced life, to be happy. So I try to basically do this. I call it a wheel of life philosophy. I try to teach this to people. And when I start working with people as a life coach, it's all this. There's all this depression. And I learned this from Dr. Wayne Dyer. I tell them, close your eyes, think about what's hitting you or doing whatever. Okay? Now think about it, open your eyes. Is that person, is that thing here? No, so then it's in your mind. So if you learn to work with your mind, you can overcome everything. And yet, like you said, there are so many of us, because we're all connected, as you know, so many of us lost in depression, deep depression. And I mean, to me, depression is just not real. You go through the stages in which life hits you, and you have to take it in, because if you don't take it in, then it chases you, it stays with you. But when you are dealing with it, you acknowledge it, and you let it go. Like you said, you can let it go right away. You don't have to keep it for a few days, for a few weeks. Right. Life is so amazing. And when someone is depressed, I tell people, I can get you out of that depression within hours, if you let me. But some people like their depression.
They do.
They do. That's why I like your energy, because you're so full of life. And I want to know where it comes from. I'm learning that.
Yeah, it comes from because I refuse to be a victim.
Good.
I refuse to have that victim mentality. I am a victim. And we're all victims. We've all had our trials and tribulations in life.
Yep.
And guess what? There's more to come.
And we're still here.
And we're still here. And when the good Lord decides to take us back that day, guess what? There's going to be something else traumatic. And you know what it is? Our death that somebody else has to deal with. But how do you want to leave your legacy?
Good question. Good question.
I want to leave it, not that I lived in a beautiful big house on the ocean or on the mountaintop and I had so many things and so many toys. I want to live in a cottage that was a retreat for others to gather on an evening where we could light a campfire, laugh and talk, throw the stuff in the fire. That's what I want to be remembered of.
Can I be there?
Oh, God, you are so there.
That sounds so good.
That's it.
It sounds really good.
That's it. Material stuff in today's world, it's gotten out of control. Out of control. When you look at different generations, this generation, what's next generation? If this generation is so materialistic, what does the next generation have to look forward to? Cell phones. I remember when cell phones were first coming out?
I remember that.
They were big.
They were big, and not everybody had them.
Not everyone had them. And only adults had them.
True, only adults had them.
Only adults.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they became more popular. They were going smaller, right? All of these things. Technology came into play. And then all of a sudden, the kids are starting to get their cell phones. High school kids are getting cell phones. Now middle schools are getting cell phones.
Yep.
Elementary schools are getting cell phones. And now you have preschoolers that are carrying around these little cell phones. Now, I understand that I'm so grateful that technology is derived within our youth, but we need to slow it down and realize that there are too many price tags on happiness. Happiness doesn't cost anything. Happiness is an investment that you choose that would be the best investment for your life.
See? Let's talk about more happiness. We talked about all this stuff. Now let's talk about happiness.
All right.
Okay, let's talk about Lindy.
Yes.
So you're an author.
I am.
You wrote a book.
I am.
And you are a speaker. You go to speak. When you go to speak, what kind of organizations do you go speak to? What do you speak about?
Well, there are different places. One of my places that I absolutely love to inspire is corporations.
Okay.
Companies truly have to understand what it means to have a happiness atmosphere inside and out, internally and externally. There are companies out there that get it 110%. Southwest Airlines, Zappos, Apple. They all, if you call them, you can hear the wonderful training, and they understand how to give happy customer service. When you give happy customer service, internally everybody's happy. The people that work for the company, they're happy during the day. They go home and now they're happier at home. There's a whole revelation here of goodness. So I love going into corporations and just helping them go ahead and revolve their atmosphere into a happier place for everybody to settle into. Then I love speaking to associations. Oh my goodness. Being inspired, going to conventions, association conventions, and watching all of the people that are involved in any kind of a company being able to go, oh, I understand that. I could bring this back. And not only when I speak at the conventions or corporations or private gatherings, societies, what happens is the feedback. It's not a matter of what happens when Lindy's there. It matters what happens after we all leave. Okay. That's the most important thing. I come on and I'm excited. I love bringing on happiness. When I go to different events, I adjust my personality to be accepted into that group.
Right.
That makes sense.
Makes sense.
My biggest end of mind for everything and anything that I do is at the end, did I help people create more happiness in their lives? They're going to be able to change all at once? No. That's why I go into different atmospheres and I spend multiple days there. But what a blessing seeing the change. What a blessing seeing everybody go, oh, I applied this. Not only did I apply it here, I went home and I applied it. Not only did I apply it at home, but I also applied it here. I went food shopping and I applied it at the grocery store. You know?
Beautiful.
It's just incredible. So I have 2 more books that are coming out as we speak.
I was going to ask you, what is next?
Oh my God, what is next? Whatever he decides to bring me. I love going to different spiritual homes of God.
Okay.
I was just invited to the Methodist Church, and I spoke there twice in Galvestown. And I let everybody know that this Jewish, Hungarian, Russian girl from New York loves to coexist. And together we could bring the unity. That's what inspires me. So speaking in a spiritual happiness message, I think that's really what just gets me so fired up, because there are so many people that have lost the ability to believe in their religion for different reasons.
I want to talk about that.
I coexist in this world, accept everybody. If we were to go ahead and shed our skin, you and I are the same color inside.
I agree.
There is nothing different.
I agree.
So why can't I look at you like that? I do. I do.
We're all one.
We're all one. So what's the matter with the world today? We're too prejudiced.
We are being, well, we're allowing outside sources to dictate to us what is acceptable and what's not acceptable. We are being divided by so many things. And I just know, I keep trying to find a way, or the magical way, to just bring people back to that realization that we're all one. When you see a tragedy, unfortunately, no matter who you are, where you come from, it affects you somehow.
Yes.
Because we're all connected. When somebody's being rude to somebody else, you will want to step in. And you might not even know that person. It's that positive energy between us, or within us, rejecting that negative energy. Because we all have it. But how do we get people to see that?
Well, it's not your job to get people to see it. They have to want to.
Then I'm in trouble.
No, you're not in trouble. You're not in trouble at all, because you have a gift and you have a wonderful, wonderful message.
Thank you.
People are listening. You don't even know they're listening. Sometimes they listen to you before they go to sleep at night. You don't even realize that. You know, I tell people, stop listening to the news. Wake up to music. Look at your spouse, your partner, your significant other, and your children and say, I love you because you're so special to me. Last night you made the best dinner ever. I love you so much. Your dinner was horrible last night, but I sure did love the fact that you made it for me. there are so many ways that people could enter the world of happiness. And one of them is when they listen to you in the evening and they wake up because they literally gyrated what you had to say in your message. You've made a difference. But it's not up to you to change the world, and it's not up to you to help or make people do it. All your message is for people to step up voluntarily and say, oh, I want what she's got. I want what he has.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
It's
Beautiful.
too hard to try to drag people. It's not going to make you happy.
It is interesting. It is interesting.
It's not going to make you happy. I learned that a long time ago. Gravitate towards those that want to gravitate towards you, and love those that don't.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
That's how it should
Coexist in the world. You know, you mentioned Buddha.
be. Yes.
Oh, there's so many great things about Buddhism, and I absolutely gravitate towards it, and I love it. So why do I want to coexist with it? Because I thrive on it. I thrive on it.
Very good. So you mentioned earlier that something to do with religions. And I'm thinking that one of the issues that we have today is that people see religion as what spiritualism or being spiritual should be. And there seems to be a difference or a perception of religion is, let's say, a set of rules that you follow
Yes.
to get an ultimate reward.
Yes.
Let's say to go to heaven, so on and so forth. I happen to believe, I respect all religions,
Me too.
but I happen to believe that the spiritual way to be is just be the best person you can be. Help those you can. I'm very well aware that you cannot help who doesn't want help, and you cannot do anything for anyone someone that doesn't want to do it for themselves. But I feel it's my job to try my best to be that messenger, to show that message, and to share that message.
Yes.
Okay? So when you talk about religion, do you see it as I see it, or do you have a different way of looking at religions as on the same lines or on opposite lines of spirituality? And I wanted to ask you that within about 30 seconds because we're running out of time. This is so interesting, this conversation, that time flew away.
Wow.
But briefly, can you tell us?
Sure. Spirituality is exactly what you said. Be kind, be good, show love, compassion, feel like you're one. Religion, way too many rules, and there are too many hypocrites in the world.
Okay. See, that's an excellent topic
Terrible.
for us to come back next week. And let's talk
Oh
more
my
about
gosh,
that.
I would love that.
Yeah, come back. It's
Yeah.
fun talking to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So in closing, do you have any message that you want to send to the community of Nashua?
Be happy.
Okay.
Stay tuned to the Happiness Jungle. Invite me any place you want to invite me.
And how do we reach you?
Lindy at happinessjungle.com.
Lindy@happinessjungle.com. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed this interview. I enjoyed it. Amazing lady. I learned a whole bunch of new stuff. So thank you for your time. We truly appreciate it. Please continue to watch. We're here for you. As always, my name is Rafael Calderon. I'm your community health worker. And this program is all about making Nashua healthier from a holistic approach. So thank you and have a good night. God bless you.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.